Okay, so let's continue where we left off. I'm going to zoom in and let's work on the eyes first. I'm going to move my, hold down my spacebar to move the face. I'm going to turn off my contour lines because they're a little bit distracting. And I want to make sure that I'm on not the portrait photo, but the digital painting one. Okay, so now I'm going to look at my eye and kind of get all of these details. Now see if you zoom in super close, you can actually see individual pixels. This is what it looks like. This is how big an individual pixel is. So those of you who made the mistake before, instead of turning your project size into inches or turn it into pixels instead, this is what we're counting, like the number of pixels, right? So if it's like 2 pixels by 2 pixels, that is literally 2 pixels by 2 pixels, right? So each one of these is a pixel. So I don't need to be quite that close. I'm going to zoom back out so I can still kind of see the picture for reference. And let's kind of look closely. So I want to start, I think, with the shadow of the eye, and then I'll do this inside portion. So I'm going to go to my color picker and I'm going to choose that dark color that's right along the edge here. It's kind of redder on this side, a little bit darker there, kind of brownish. Okay, I think I'm going to go somewhere in the middle between these. All right, I'm coming with my paintbrush. Wow, look, that paintbrush size is way too big to work on the eye. So I'm going to come in with a smaller size. One might be even a little too small. I think I'm going to try 2. That's better. And I'm going to come in here, and again, make sure you're painting on the digital painting layer, not the photo. And I'm going to look closely at this and just kind of draw the line I see here, and it kind of comes down to here, and it gets a little lighter down there. I'm going to bring it up and kind of out to where I see it coming here. Now this color is pretty close to the eye color too, so I'm going to come down along the sides here and bring this eye color in. I'm not going to do where that highlight is. I'm going to come back and get that in a minute. I see a few eyelashes here, and I see that this is a little bit lighter brown. So I'm going to first choose my lighter brown in here, and then I'm going to come through and get some paint on here. I mean, you want to be so close that you can't even tell from one color to the next. So you want to get as close to that color as possible in that area. I'm going to go in here. Let me kind of see all these shades that are in here. Try to find something in between. I think it might be a little bit lighter. And I'm going to come in here and get this highlight that's there. And I'm going to get the color of the eye. So over here, it's definitely lighter with a shadow right there, right? See that? So I'm going to get the lighter area first. So lighter area. And then I'm going to get my shadow right here. And again, you really have to be up on top of this picture to see these details. And I think there's like a little bit lighter area right there, just to kind of transition that shadow so it's not so dark. Now let's go to the other side of the eye. So I'm going to get down here. It's a little lighter. So right there. I'm then going to match this value in here. So it goes to like a medium gray right there. The inside of the eye is not white, so do not come in here with a straight white. Make sure you are matching what's here. So match the colors that you see here. And I do see like there's a little bit of a shadow there. Oops, I just drew on top of it. by accident, as I was trying to point it out. There it is. So I'm going to come through and do this little bit of a shadow right there. Now that looks like too big of a jump to me, but let's see what it looks like when I pull back, because right now we're right on top of it. Let's turn off this picture. So one of the things I noticed right off the bat is that I didn't fill it in all the way. So when I turn off that eye, or when I turn off the picture and I can see it up close, I can see exactly where I still need to fill it in, right? So let me come over here. I'm going to choose that color and fill that in. Oops, that's the wrong color. That one. And then I need to definitely get this dark up here. Okay, let me zoom back out now. Pretty close. So I just need to fill in like this area over here and fill in the center where the highlight is. So I'm going to come back, choose this color here, fill this in, and then choose this color here and fill this in the rest of the way. All right, let's pull back again. See how it looks. Pretty close. All right, so let's go zoom in and get the bottom of the eye. So I'm going to choose maybe this value here, come through. I can see it definitely gets lighter there. Bring in some of this light right here, and then it changes color again. You can see when the color shift happens, because as you're drawing, like it just becomes really super noticeable. You'll go from like, okay, I can barely see it, to, oh, I can definitely see it. Like, right, see how it changes right there? So whenever that happens, that's when you know you need to change your color. I think I want to get this shadow that's up here too, so I'm gonna come up here, choose the shadow color. And again, it's much easier to draw this stuff when you're closer, so don't try to do this from far away, because you'll like squiggle your line and you'll miss like a major area, or you'll make a mistake really easily. I'm gonna try to get some eyelashes in here too, because I do see them in here, right? I mean, it's still kind of like pixely, but you can see that there's lashes. Let's zoom back. Right, you seeing it? I think I'm going to work on the general eyebrow area too. So while I'm here, let's get some colors happening up here. So I see this area as a highlight. And I'm going to get just a little bit bigger size. 2 is so small. I mean, when we're working on the eye, like it makes sense, but. And I'm just going to do a little smudging action to blend these 2 colors together. Just to kind of transition them a little bit better. I could do the same thing in here too. So see how the eye still looks a little choppy in here. I can just do a little smudging to make sure that everything's kind of filled in. So if you have a harsh line, just kind of do a little smudge action to build it in. All right, get over here with my darker value. And again, I'm just like picking colors, kind of blending those colors. Oops, I kind of got rid of that. I don't want to mess up that eyebrow there. All right, and then I'll come back in with my smudge tool, kind of bring it into the other one. So it transitions nicely, so it's not like super choppy looking, just kind of fading one in. I definitely see a little bit more of a shadow down here too. So let me bring that in too. Make it a little bit smaller. Always go super small. All right, and then do a little blending action. I'm gonna get something a little bit bigger here. Just gonna bring that over a little bit more. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So I'm gonna turn off my eye, or turn off my picture. Not bad. I think I need a little bit more kind of blending here to bring the two together. So I can keep working with this and kind of tooling it around. Now I'm looking at the eyebrow. What I want to do is I want to match the color. So I try to come in here, try to look at what the color is. In general, it's in the vicinity of around here. Make it a little bit warmer. I'm going to come in with my paintbrush. I'm going to come in with a smaller size and just kind of look at the direction of the hairs. And if it's getting darker, go a little darker with it. So I'm just looking for the direction. So that one I think is way too far out there. And then it starts to kind of angle down. So I'm doing like shorter lines. See what it looks like. So I definitely have some gaps in here and over here. It's not too bad. Let's pull back a little bit. So I think we need to blend them a little bit to kind of fade them into one another. So let's come in here with my smudger. And I'm just going to kind of fade it a little bit. Get more of a solid cover. And when I'm looking at this, I may have to make it even darker. Look at our picture. Yeah, because it still feels kind of light, so I may have to darken the whole area. So I'm going to come in with something even darker, something kind of like the eye color. And something brush size a little bit bigger. Maybe not that big. Just to kind of bring in some darker values. Oh, that seems too dark. Let's go back to our picture. Get one of these darker values. Okay. And then come back in. And again, I'm just kind of following the general way that the picture is on here. So follow like the direction of the hair. Just to kind of rough out where the shape is. And then we can come back in and lighten and darken it if we need to. So I'm just building up the area a little bit at a time. So the next step you would be focusing in on the eyes. So take your time and kind of work through each individual eye. Then build up your values for like your eyebrows. And again, like you'll come in with a little bit smaller paintbrush and just follow the direction that the eyebrow hairs are going. You may want to have like that darker value in the back just to kind of give you like a shape behind it, like what I just did. And then come back through and add your lines for your eyebrow hair to kind of follow it. Let's check that out and see what that looks like. Yeah, we're definitely getting there, right? I think we need to bring up some of this color up into this area. So we're going to need to kind of shape the eye a little bit more where the eyebrow is and bring in the color there and bring in the color on the eyelid. But I think that we're definitely kind of heading in the right direction. I do think it would be fairly easy to smudge some of these colors down into right above the eyebrow. So if you need to kind of just bring those a little bit closer, you can fade them in and then push them wherever you need to push them to kind of get closer to the shape, right, that you need. So keep like kind of working the areas to bring the color over to where you need it. Okay, so then you'll focus on the eyes next, and then after that, we'll go to the mouth, and then we'll look at the, probably the mouth and nose we'll do together, and then we'll do the hair.